Good morning. This is Jennifer Haston at The Professor Helps. I am so excited to tell you that last week, whenever I posted the thing about everybody has trouble in their marriage, I just want to be really clear about this. Being authentic is one of the promises I'm making to myself this year. And I'm confessing we have problems in our marriage. And I know that that's not going to be a galloping shock. And in fact, probably most of the people watching this have problems in their marriage or their partnerships or things like that. And the thing is that that's okay. It's really normal. And I'm finding out that that kind of thing happens a lot more than we might think. And that's kind of the point of my post today. My goal as your guide or guru or helpful person, because The Professor Helps is the name of my post. Every week I'm going to send you a message of inspiration, motivation, and what's going on for me and what I'm talking about this week. And it'll be every Wednesday and it'll be before noon. And if you find it helpful, please subscribe, also share. One of the things that I wanted to talk about today is the fact that, when you have troubles, I think the temptation is to keep it all inside. And I'm also an artist, and so I'm working on a song right now that literally have the lyrics that I'm tired of keeping it inside, I'm tired of holding it together. And the truth is that that's what's been going on for us. For probably the last 6 months, our family has been besieged with death and job loss and financial problems, and we had a car die, and I've just been amazed at the amount of people who have surrounded us with care and support and love and just, you're gonna make it and you can keep going. And there are definitely times and places for that, right? Because I've made this point before that when you empathize with somebody, sometimes you don't have anything to say other than, gosh, that sucks so much. And I'm so glad that you trusted me and told me that information. I don't have any advice for you because I have no idea what you're going through. But maybe take off that last part and just say, I'm so glad you told me, and just sit there and be with them in the suck. Brene Brown says, embrace the suck, which is a hard thing to do when you're a spin doctor like myself. I really like to spin things up and say, well, it happened because of this or blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't really add value to the person who's looking for that empathy or that crying shoulder, because, it doesn't do any good to look on the bright side when someone's still stuck in the dark. And I think that it's really important to give that its proper place and its proper weight, because to immediately jump to the happy or the bright is more for the person who's trying to comfort because they're uncomfortable with the negative or the unhappy or the sad thought. And the truth is that we've all got things going on in our lives. Now, I am not suggesting that we make this an international therapy session and we throw out everything out that's going on with us. No, because, there's such a thing as oversharing. And I believe that there is a line between I'm being vulnerable with you and I'm telling you way too much information. And I think that vulnerability, though, can lead to really wonderful connection. And I think that we can all connect a little bit better, because isn't friendship born at that moment when someone says, oh, you too? And then all of a sudden you have that innate connection with another person because you connected over something. I mean, that happened with me a couple of months ago. A friend of mine, I've been friends with her for almost 15 years. And she said something and I went, oh my gosh, I had no idea that was true for you too. And it was just this wonderful moment that if I hadn't said what I said, she wouldn't have said what she said. And it's just this bonding connection moment, which was great. And there is nothing more valuable than being told that you're not alone. So I'm telling you this, you're not alone. If you're having struggles, you're not alone. If you're having problems in your marriage, you're not alone. And the thing that I've come away with recently is we have help. We have advice. We talk to other people. We talk to each other. I think that being selfless in your marriage, being selfless in your marriage involves a lot of care and consideration, and also the other person has to be selfless too. It's definitely a two-way street, and it's not a 50-50 road. It's 90% of the time you work together to find what works for both of you, and then there's that 10% of the time where your selfish need wins out. And I know that math doesn't always work out, but the truth is that if you keep taking turns and you keep talking through things, and sometimes those conversations are just the most awkward on the planet and you hate it and you feel like your marriage is over, but of course it's not, you're just talking through problems, it's definitely worth it. It's also really, really hard. So I want to make sure that we all do a little bit more talking about that, only what you're comfortable sharing. But at the same time, think through that. Why do you think we don't talk about why things are hard? Why do you think we don't do that? Because we're embarrassed or we're ashamed. And why are we ashamed? Because everybody's going through something. So, I encourage you today, share a little bit more of yourself and whatever you're comfortable with. I don't want anybody to go beyond their comfort zone. Maybe I want to stretch it just a little bit. And so I would say ask people about themselves first. And then, certainly share if you feel compelled, but mostly start paying attention to the people around you. Someone has a downcast look on their face, or, they get a bad phone call. You can see that on their face if you're paying attention. And you can say, are you okay? Or, can I get you some water or something like that? Sometimes just that one kind gesture can make a world of difference to one person. So what am I saying? I am saying that you should share your problems, and I'm saying you should listen to other people's problems. So that is the message for today, and this is the professor signing off.